in New Jersey, New York, and even California. He was ready for a long-term congregational commitment, and so were we. Max, Ida, Judy, Gail, Lee, and Ruth moved to Wynwood, and we welcomed them in our midst for the next over 20 years. Max's powerful voice was heard from this bema on so many occasions. Just how many lives has he touched? In this room alone, I would suggest a show of hands. How many were bar or bat mitzvahed by Max? Add to those you were married or your kids were married, confirmed, named, or your babies were named? And for how many in this room was Max there in our most sorrowful times? He always knew what to say. A little story about Max's knowing what to say. And I hope I'm not spilling the beans too much, because here's a story he once told me in confidence, but I think it's a real glimpse into Max's ability to know just the right thing to say and when to say it. Most of us, or many of us, perhaps even all of us, were given a Hebrew name at some point in time, either at a naming or a bar mitzvah or something. But many of us, myself included, forgot the Hebrew name at some point in time, and invariably, Max would tell me, somebody would come up to him in the hall, after services, in the parking lot, whatever, and say, "Oh, Rabbi Hausen, we have to fill out some form, or our granddaughter is getting married. I need to know my Hebrew name. Do you remember it?" And without skipping a beat, Max would always say, "Of course I remember your Hebrew name. How would he not remember your Hebrew name?" And he would come up with it, whatever it was. You know, Noah, Shalom, Moshe, it didn't matter. And he said it with conviction, and he said it with sincerity. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you this story because Max was in any way being insincere. He wasn't. What he understood is that it was important to that person for their rabbi to remember their Hebrew name and to have some meaning, some connection to it. And he knew that the act of giving the answer was more important than whether it was right or wrong. Does it really matter whether your Hebrew name was Noach or Eliezer? So Max, I hope you don't mind if I spilled the beans on that story. I know you're not here, but I'm certain you can hear our thoughts and prayers for a quick and full recovery. We know Shirley and you have many, many more pun-filled years ahead, and we look forward to continuing that path together.